All right, guys. Covering current market conditions. I know a lot of people right now are scared in the market and they're like, whoa, what's going on here? What's happening? You said up, and I still think we do go up. So I'm going to cover all angles and all scenarios. Currently, we're still on the bullish side. A little bit of scare tactic right now with the market. Huge drop, guys. But you got to keep in mind too. Look at the buy up here. Look at the buy up, guys. Like, there's no way that many. And this is, at the end of the day, this is them just coming back to grab this liquidity. That's a huge liquidity grab right there. And it only makes sense that they would try and do that. What else did they do? They also liquidated a lot of longs. We'll get into that though in the next portion of the video. But for right now, we're going to cover current market conditions and what's going on in this end of the market. So currently, you're probably like, well, how do you know this? How do you know that? What's good? What's bad? So I'll give you the bullish side and then I'll give you the bear side, right? So bullish side, which is what we'll start with. So bullish side was that we remain above this zone right here, guys. This 40K zone, we need to hold this as support. This zone is the strongest zone right now that we have as far as support goes. So even if BTC trends down, which very well could happen, right? We could be coming down to recover that wick. I still expect to stay bullish until I'm not, right? So we'll talk about that in a minute, like I said, with the bear side. But when we're talking about bull side, guys, boom, support, boom, support, boom, resistance, right? And then so on and so forth. We can see right here, what else? Boom, resistance, guys. It's there all the way across. See that? Very easy to see. That's the main support we're looking to hold, guys. As long as we hold that support, market should do well, and we should continue in the upside. So don't be scared out by this, guys. Like, I bought the dip. I will buy more if we come down more. I do have fiat on the side, as you should too, right? Because you should be taking profits on your way up. If you're taking profits on your way up, then you'll have money on the side to be able to buy these dips. As long as we hold up here, we're good. I'm okay with that, and I'll stay in the market. We start trending in the other direction, which I'll talk about in a minute, then that'll be a different issue, right? So we can see right here multiple things, guys. Multiple things. One being, guys, all right? Support, right? Where was support? Right here. Where was support here? Right here, right? Where was support over here? Right here. And what I think this is this, guys. Boom. Right? That's exactly what that is. And on a bigger frame, guys, look. We're going to cover it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Putting it out there. Just putting it out there, guys. Right? I thought our 1, 2, 3, 5 was over here, but potentially this could be what we're looking at, right? We could be looking at, and it could just be from this top right here, right? We're stair stepping. You see this push right here? So if we can do that, then that'll be really good. Our 5, can potentially hit 100K, can potentially not, but really we can trend it when we can play in here as long as they want. As long as we hold this as support, we're good. So a little bit different from my previous presentation that I gave you guys. So, and that's just because things changed, right? I got to move with the price movement. So if the price movement moves, I have to then adjust my outlook of everything that's going on. So with that outlook and that current trend that I was looking at and what that we are looking at, I mean, from this point, I would say, this is kind of my hold. This is what I'm looking to stay bullish. As long as we can maintain this price movement, we're good. If we start breaking below, it'll be a little bit different. So that's support there. Now, do we have to trend down, guys, and recapture this wick? Not necessarily, right? We could very easily just start running up like we did over here and play high and then run up, until a big push and then ultimately, hit our 5 and come back down. I still think 70, 80K is a reasonable price target, guys. I think that's ideally what we're looking for Bitcoin, and that's ideally where I'm looking for everything here. Now, I do want to show you everything as far as support, guys, because you're probably like, okay, well, what's going on over here? Well, if we look at this, guys. That's what we're resting on right now, okay? And if we come across and we look at this over here, we're also resting in the same spot here, guys. Look at that. Boom. That's where we are right now. That's where we are. Okay. So if that's where we are, and this also here, obviously didn't reach it quite as well. If that's where we are, we could very well from this position trend from here and go ahead and finish our 5. So it's not necessarily that we're going to trend down, but we could, right? We could trend down. If it trends down, no big deal. We can pick up our bags here and look for the upside here. Until alts run, guys, like really the reality is alts will run after Bitcoin, right? This is just, it's cycle trading. It's how cycle trading works. This is something that's normal in crypto. So if alts will run, alts have not run yet, guys. So until they do, I would stick with the graph of understanding and keeping in mind that I think we still have upside. And with BTC, I would also like to point out too, especially with BTC, I'm not buying BTC. I'm buying alts, right? On these dips, I'm buying alts, I'm buying alts, I'm buying alts. Why? Because BTC could be done, but alts will run, right? So that's kind of the position I'm taking right now with everything. You saw Ethereum 3,100 right back to 4K. So I think everything is in line to kind of show you what's going on here. But blow off top market potentially right now, we still have the option for the extended cycle. Like I said, as long as we stay above this 40K mark at this point, we need to stay above 40K, guys. That's the more ideal position for us to take. And so that's basically how I'm going to kind of watch the market more or less. In the next portion, I'll go over the bearish side and then we'll cover macro trend. So we'll talk about macroeconomics and kind of what's going on. All right, bearish scenario. I know not everyone would say this, but I'm just kind of showing you what can happen here, guys. Okay, just showing you. If we trend down and BTC breaks support here, guys, I would expect BTC to come down and bounce probably right around here. I would expect BTC then to reactionary, come back up and retest previous support, guys. If BTC fails that previous support, I expect price is going to trend down pretty hard. All right. So if price trends down and we test previous support and we are unable to hold that support and break through that support and come back and find support again, this is an exit for me. It's an exit for me, like a mostly 90% exit on my portfolio right here. If we end up kind of running up, great. We're in a good position, right? So if we break down and come back up, that's even better. That's still good. It's still bullish. That's a deeper push, and we'll be able to trend up, and we should be good. Outside of that, this is what I would expect if we end up falling down from here. Guys, it's a typical 85% correction. People can say whatever they want. Go back to previous cycles. I'll show you on BLX. We 85% from here, guys. That's a low Bitcoin, but I think support will be right around here, right? Resistance, support. So if it's right in here, then I would expect price to probably range between 10 to 11K if we end up 85% corrected for Bitcoin from here. Just giving you ideal price ranges and ideal scenarios, and you're probably like, well, that doesn't look realistic. I'll show you. Right here, guys. Previous top. Do the math, guys. Do the math. 84. Right here. Previous top. You see it right there. 86.55. So people talking about 70%. No, guys. No. I will say also we could be looking at something like this. And that would be something like this, right? And then a big bounce, obviously reject at a lower high. That's fine. We'll see alts run. I mean, this is exactly what happened over here previously, guys. Like if we look at Bitcoin, that's exactly what happened right here. Lower high, fell over, and we were done. So we could see that resistance before we ever catch to a break to a newer high, and it should be okay. Like if you're in the right coins, you're in alts, you're not worrying about Bitcoin too much, you should be fine. Because when that happens, we should see alts really run. We'll be able to see it once BTC starts taking off. If alts start going crazy, you know, Ethereum starts hitting 7K, which I think is a good range for it, or higher. Then we'll be able to tell, okay, something's going on here. We think alts are running, so we'll probably start taking profit immediately as soon as that starts happening to secure our profit for that next fall over, because if that's the case, then Bitcoin's going to dump pretty hard at some point, just like it did over here, guys. So this is kind of like what we have going on here. and then we could see something like this for that 70-85% correction in the scenario that things don't end up working out in the favor of Bitcoin. All right, on the next slide, move on to the next part, and this will be more on macroeconomics. All right, so macroeconomics, we're looking at VIX, right? So this is a volatility index. Volatility index is basically a signal for bad economics in general, right? And when I say bad economics, I mean in the favor of the investor. So investor meaning that, we're basically looking at the more this thing spikes, the more volatile the market is. The more volatile the market is, the more people start pulling money from the market, right? Because it's a fear tactic, more or less, or a fear scenario. And we can see right here, we're kind of hitting these highs right here, guys. But I will say, with hitting these highs, we can see right here, previously when this happened, what happens? The VIX usually cools down, right? So if the VIX starts to cool down, which I think is very possible, we could see crypto go boom, right? But I do expect with that cool down, we start trying for a high, and then we just go, right? And this right here would be in the market, not just for crypto, for all assets, guys, all assets, not just crypto. And then if we look over here and we go double screen and we look at this whole volatility right here. By the way, I'm measuring ETH against BTC here. As you can see right here, ETH's getting ready to bull out on BTC, and it could very easily start passing BTC as far as strength. So, but if we look over here, we look at the SPY, and this is basically S&P 500, and we look at previous volatility windows. See this spike right here for the volatility, and if you look here, that's basically when the S&P dropped all the way down here, guys. And in that same scenario, if you look at Bitcoin over here, guys, that's when Bitcoin came down and made this correction, which was more than, guys, a 65% drop below the floor. So you're probably like, well, how do you know it's below the floor? Yada, yada. Where's the floor? All this other good stuff. So if we pull up the Bitcoin Rainbow, this is one of the few times Bitcoin actually dropped below the floor. This is the floor right, this white line. So the fact that it did that was a very scary moment, but I mean, all assets were taking a heavy hit right there, boom. So if we look over here too, volatility for this spike right here, that spike right there did, let's see, it did this little move right here. And then if we pull back to here, because I want to see if we can capture this. See right there, guys? Look at that. Look at that. So boom. That's the S&P, and this right here is 09, 08 crash, guys. Look at that, 09, 08 crash. And that's basically what happened here. And I think, again, we will probably see that crash again, guys. I think there's a possibility of us topping out here on the S&P and kind of falling over at a certain point and just like really coming down hard. Because I'm expecting one of these to be playing out relatively soon. So that's pretty much, that covers the volatility. All right, now we're going to move into other macroeconomics on the next part in just a moment. All right, guys, we're going to get into Glassnodes, right? Where are we sitting on Glassnodes? Well, if you look at the Bitcoin long-term holder Newpool, which is basically our long-term holders holding or our long-term holders selling, and what state are those long-term holders in, guys? So long-term holders right here, we basically have these scenarios, the capitulation, which is accumulation. We have the hope and fear, which is, hope things go up, hope things recover, a scared market. Optimism and anxiety, that's this brown zone right here. And we have belief and denial. Belief and denial is the upper zones with euphoria and greed. And that basically is showing kind of where people are getting a little bit too greedy in the market and not taking enough profits. And the market is getting a little bit oversaturated, right? So if the market's getting a little bit oversaturated, these are good zones to be taking money, guys. If you're not taking money in these zones, you're getting wrecked in these zones. So always be taking profit anytime you're in the belief in denial or euphoria and greed areas. We have not hit a euphoric area again yet. So I am thinking the market will hit a euphoric area at some point, and we should see price of Bitcoin jump pretty hard when we start hitting that euphoric area, guys. I think that definitely, 80, 90K, maybe 70K Bitcoin for sure. Possibly even 100 at this point, because I mean, as far as where we sit on the Nupal, we have a lot of room to go to get to this previous, top of Euphoria. So if that's the case, this could be a really good opportunity to be buying in on this dip and keeping money to the side in case it dips more, guys. Like, don't just throw your whole bag in at once. Now we're going to move into the next part of the macroeconomics. Cryptometer. All right, so Cryptometer is another good way to measure current market. We can see right here the Cryptometer is basically, it runs off of previous trend history. And if we look at trend history, we're seeing what? We're seeing decent buying pressure to decent selling pressure and setting right in the middle. Does that look bearish to you guys? I don't think that looks bearish at all. That's saying that the market is kind of balancing right now, and now it should make a deciding factor whether it wants to move up or move down. So good item to utilize. I would say with this Cryptometer, another good thing to utilize big time, guys, big time, as long as the shorts. Look at long as the shorts, and we can see what 50.64% of people right now are longing Bitcoin, not shorting Bitcoin. And we're talking about a Bitcoin that's hanging in midair pretty much. I mean, it's got support, don't get me wrong, but like that's a little bit of a scary position to be trying to long or short. So the fact that even though it's 0.64%, you're probably like, well, that's not much. It's actually a lot. These are usually not completely one side or the other. And the fact that whenever it's more bullish than bearish, even by a small percent, it's still a bullish market or a bullish feeling market, right? You could read sentiment by reading longs shorts. You could also come over to BitMEX calculator and you could see ETH versus BTC and people's mentality on it, right? If you look at Bitcoin, what are you seeing? 94% of people longing, 50% of people longing, 71% of people longing, 74% of people longing. Look at Ethereum, guys. Look at Ethereum. Somebody knows something we don't know. 33% longing, 66 short, 59 or 49 short, 69 longing, 30 short, 50 long, 49 short. So the market is a little bit undecided on Ethereum. Ethereum could go up and it could take off, but then again, it looks like the market is a little bit iffy on Ethereum, but looks very bullish on Bitcoin when you're looking long and shorts. All right, we're going to move over to Crypto Fear and Greed Meter. All right, so this is the Fear and Greed Meter, guys. Good way to analyze the market. Anytime we're in extreme fear, anytime we're over here, we're in a cool down phase. The market is in a cool down phase. If the market is in a cool down phase, does that mean sell, sell, sell? No, it means buy the dip, guys. It doesn't mean sell. And I know buy the dip is kind of like, sounds like diamond hands, but diamond hands is a joke, right? Anybody who says diamond hands is like, man. But like when it comes to like buy the dip, it's just, there's smart ways to buy dips. And we'll talk about that with DCA and stuff like that in the video when I make the DCA video. Again, extreme fear, good time to buy. And you can see right here, if you read through the Fear and Greed, it will basically tell you how this works. Extreme fear can be a sign that investors are too worried. That could be a buying opportunity, guys. Too greedy, right? Then the market is due for a correction. If the market is due for a correction, what does that mean? That means sell. Not financial advice, of course, right? I'm just describing to you guys how this works and what's going on here. Now we're going to move on to the next macroeconomics in just a second. All right, we're going to move into data Bitcoinetry. All right, guys. So I've been watching this for a while, and a lot of people, I don't think they realize like this is a good thing to watch. But if you look at volume versus price, look over here when we were just pounding up, right? And when we're just hitting ceilings, look at all this buying pressure, right? Huge buying pressure. But before that, see all this little trickle right here? Look where we're at right now, guys. We're kind of like still in that mid phase. We haven't hit this yet, right? This is coming. This is coming. When this kicks in, and we can see right here where they just got their first biggest candle in this entire push, guys. First biggest candle in this entire push, 4.17 G, and you look like this one's 3.17. That's the second tallest one in this whole, since the market flipped back up, right? And that was in this candle that started the market. So if they came back in and bought almost, 25% more here to hold it, I believe they're gonna try and flip this back up. If we look at price versus volume, if we end up coming into this right here at this end, we could see Bitcoin explode, guys. Literally just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, or like 1 week. Just go. before the market end. Now, just make sure you're being smart about it, not being too greedy. Take your profit when you get to that point. Not financial advice, obviously, but it's always smart to have profit on the side. Don't worry about making compounded money, right? We're not worried about compound, because compound gets you wrecked. Looking for a top price gets you wrecked. In X amount, take X amount. 60%, take 20%. 80%, take 40%. However you want to do it, right? We're looking to take money and put it to the side, so we're not giving it back to the market if they decide to pull it back and take money back. All right, now we're going to move on to the next part of the macroeconomic chart. All right, so another good thing that you guys can utilize and use, guys, really, really good, right? We always want to watch regular assets versus our current asset to kind of see what's going on there. But you could always go into like Binance US or Binance or Coinbase, and when you see these pullbacks, these huge dips with Bitcoin, right? So like Bitcoin pulled back X amount, and now I'm like, oh my gosh, scared. When Bitcoin runs to here, while you're seeing this drop, go like this, guys. In your exchange, look and see what's green, right? If it's green, it's holding strong against a Bitcoin pullback. If it's holding strong against a Bitcoin pullback, that is indicating that coin could do very well. It is a buy, guys. Buy. All right. So just not financial advice, obviously, but I'm just giving you guys a little bit of words of wisdom. And I can see a lot of these coins have really picked up and really recovered. So I would say, I don't know if the market's done yet, guys. I don't know if it's done. We're definitely, looking pretty good on the alt charts. And I can tell you, in the FS group, we definitely told people to buy alts, and we gave them a lot of good alts. And a lot of those alts are right in here setting green right now. So, you can make your own decision. This right here is basically, a market outlook video, more or less. As you can see, the outlook for me is still positive. I've given you lots of positive scenarios. There could be a negative scenario. I did give you that scenario too. I'm not going to sit here and be like this on YouTube, like, guys, we're going to $300,000 Bitcoin. No, I'm going to tell you guys the realistic scenario of what can happen here on both ends of the spectrum. So you are prepared when it happens, guys, because you need to set up a game plan. You need to understand that this is my game plan. This is what I'm sticking to. It breaks here, I sell, right? It goes up here, I sell, right? And I don't mean like sell my whole position, but I start taking profit, right? DCA. Down here, I'm looking to sell because I'm looking for a huge downtrend, and then I'm looking to buy back in at lower position and then start DCAing as it continues to drop. If it continues to drop, and that's kind of the position I'm taking with it. I hope this helps a lot of you guys out. Good luck to everybody in the market, and don't be too scared, but all assets are kind of taking a hit a little bit right now. A lot of people think that, news. I can tell you TA reads a lot of this before the news. So just always keep that in mind. Until next time, guys, have a good one.
Oh, I can't let him take my soul. I can't let him take my soul. No. Oh, I can't let him take my soul. No. See, we was cool right before he hit the fence, but he hit the fan when I got him down at the bench. When I took a break, I had to leave and go get cleansed. God forgive me for all my sins. I can't say these hoes, cause my last name ain't Kent. Cooking on the stove, that's the way he paid the rent. Working on the pole, that's the way she pays tuition. Better watch your soul, cause you know they trying to get it. Yeah. I learned my right from wrong on a song. I let my heart bleed on my sleeve through microphones. I'm trying to right my wrongs by writing out my wrongs. Ran through a check, cause it's hard to live off bread alone. So if you see me slipping, yeah, let me know. Cause it ain't the end of times yet, I know, but it's getting close. Yeah, I need my space to breathe, that's why I be going ghost. I ain't trying to stay up on that wide road, cause I can't let him take my soul. Nah, no. Oh, I can't let him take my soul. Nah, no. I can't let him take my soul. Nah, no. Oh, I can't let him take my soul. Nah, no. They thinking I'm bluffing, but I promise I do it. That K got a drum, like murder and booming. We sending you vert. If I get my little Uzi, they thinking I'm crazy. I'm gon' see you the haters. People I'm saying, get what I'm painting. A picture big, I call it little baby. If I'm on the board, then we playing chess. If you on my way, you gon' need a vest. Act big, you might get stretched. All your gun talk, I ain't impressed. My 45 seen real traffic. That's Dallas, Texas. My little partner called her body for a Maserati. He told him get about the car, hit him with the shotty. That 12 gauge, gave him life in the 12th grade. I tried to write him, but we ain't on the same page. I caught him slipping, I just had to let him know. It ain't the end of times yet, I know, but it's getting close. These demons really out to get you, so you better guard your post. There's certain things I could probably let go, but I can't let them take my soul. Nah, 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 no. Oh, I can't let them take my soul. Nah, 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 no. I can't let them take my soul. Nah, 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 no. Oh, I can't let them take my soul. Nah, 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 no. I can't let them take my soul.